So, my friends, one of the things that I've been doing with my time lately is I have been studying as an apprentice in the Guild for Spiritual Guidance. The Guild is an intentional community that promotes healing the fractures that separate us from relationship, be it the relationship we have with ourselves, our fellow humans, all beings of the planet itself, the universe, or the spirit of life, which is found in all of those beings. We do this by engaging in a process of integrating the wisdom of spiritual traditions, the concepts of depth psychology, not death psychology, depth psychology, and the reality of evolutionary cosmology. Big words, and it's been quite the ride. As I'm sure you can imagine, there are a lot of concepts covered in the conversations that involve the psychological work of Carl Jung, the revolutionary findings of scientists like the Catholic Jesuit priest Teilhard de Chardin, the mind-blowing understandings of the universe by cosmologists like Brian Swimme, and the surprisingly grounded in the universe and connected to each other spiritually, the teachings of Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, and earth-centered traditions, which are all teaching the same thing. I could go on for quite a bit talking about this, and I will not. However, if you'd like to go down any of those rows, give me a call. We'll have some tea. I like the tea. There is one concept, though, that connects all three of those areas and is really at the core, I think, of all we study at the Guild, but more importantly, is at the core of all of life. When I let this reality really wash over me, it gives me such comfort. So I'm going to share it with you, and you can take it for what it's worth. The pattern of the universe, the pattern of everything, is creation, disintegration, and transformation. We all know that. Planets and stars are born of balls of gas and dust. They form, they have a certain span in which they exist in that form, and then they burn up and throw off pieces of themselves that transform into asteroids or comets or the beginnings of new stars and planets, over and over again. All creatures, at least on our planet, are created, then die, and their bodies transform back into the very planet, into the very elements from which they were formed. And those elements join together in different combinations to create something brand new, over and over again. This is the reality of life, everywhere, in all its forms. But it's not just the process for the physical, for stars or trees or frogs or even the bodies of human beings. It is also the process of living our lives for our spirits. And it's hard. It's really hard. Stars don't cry when asteroids smash into them. Frogs don't think about whether the reason they grab food from their neighbor frog is because when they were young, they had to share food with 35 sibling frogs. So they had to grab that food. A tree doesn't leave the forest because it thinks there's a better forest somewhere else. We human beings have been blessed and cursed with emotions and desire and ego. And those are gifts we have that will either transform us or wipe us out. The point of human spiritual transformation is not to change what we see, but how we see. We walk around with attitudes that are clouded by judgment, criticalness, and the grime of binary vision. It's either right or wrong. You're either with us or against us. True transformation opens us to the reality that holding paradox is the way of the universe. The birth comes with the death. Joy and grief are united. Male and female are one whole. This is a community that holds up the non-binary. There are things we know, and there are things that are a mystery. It is both and vision. And when this is how you see, the connections and overlap between you and everyone and everything is all you see. And therein dwells the spirit of life, the divine. Our egos keep us from seeing this. We like our judgments. They're safe. They keep our fear at bay because we're right and they're wrong. So to get there, our ego needs some disintegrating. Admitting we were wrong, admitting our judgments were unkind, admitting we don't want to give up the power we wield or the privilege we hold, facing the mistakes we made or the times we remained silent or took no action in support of another. Getting honest about not really loving ourselves. Confronting these shadow sides, things about ourselves we're ashamed of or that we refuse to admit exist, or even on the positive side, the gifts we have that we have learned to suppress and ignore. Confronting these is how we begin to dismantle our egos and open ourselves to seeing differently with an open heart that stands in humility. If we don't engage in this transformation ourselves, then we have no hope of transforming the society around us. People who take this challenging journey, a process which, by the way, never ends, those people have a light that shines from within them. You may know people like this. You like to be with them. And when people are with them, they are changed. And that's how the change happens. It starts within us. If we resist accepting the reality of the pattern of the universe, the creation, the disintegration, the transformation, then our lives become very fearful and very stuck. So no, this is how it works. Don't be afraid. It's supposed to go like this. This is what we're supposed to do. And that's why it's such a comfort to me. Yes, it's painful and difficult and scary and joyful and so freeing. And it's the way to be in relationship with all you know and all that is, and with the spirit of life. This was the meaning of the resurrection. It is the message in every great spiritual teaching. In different ways, with different stories and images, but they are showing us the way. Today we will hear the words of other voices showing us the way. Our first story this morning told us that even though this is hard to do, it is necessary for us to be free. Jill Harjo in her poem will give us suggestions on how to go about this journey and how to call back our true spirits. So listen for them. And the great Maya Angelou will show us how the universe in the body of nature around us again and again gives us the opportunity to let go of all that weighs us down, that all we need for transformation, for our passage through, is right here. And it always has been. And when we accept that gift, it can change us and the world around us.